Why do we keep letting ourselves be desensitized and reprogrammed? That is the question. But sometimes we might not realize that that's what's going on. So this is a couple of short videos, how we've been desensitized, how we are being reprogrammed, and how to get out of it. So the thing is awareness. Once we're aware, we know this thing. The first thing is people say, oh, I'm just human. No, we're not just human. We are spiritual beings before we're just human flesh. But the flesh is highly programmable. That's where the enemy comes into play because he knows this. So he knows that if he can tempt, taint, sway, distract the flesh, then he can get at the spirit, and then he can do and devour as he pleases. However, when our spirit and our soul is at one, we have control, fully control over this body. So again, knowledge is wisdom once it's being used. So let's start from the beginning. The first thing, have y'all ever noticed how certain things in the news might not affect you or affect a lot of people the way you think it would? For instance, when you hear people talk about history and you talk about the Jim Crow era and people being hung, a lot of times people are not riled up in their spirit and uncomfortable and feel this heartfelt thing about it. You even hear, even nowadays, how somebody might be dating out of their race. Next thing you know, they're hanging from a tree. Again, this is present day stuff. But people don't, they hear it and don't hear it. It's like a big thing. So where can desensitization come from outside of the countless movies, thank you Holy Spirit, about slavery? Because that wasn't where I was going, but that's what he gave me. About slavery. It keeps being fed. So it doesn't have a sting like it should have. So when we hear about these things, we're not affected. But let's go back to where it might have originated from. Y'all remember that game when you grew up, and that little spelling game that's supposed to be so fun called Hangman? Well, that wasn't a fun spelling game. It was actually a game that's dated far back as the 1700s. The original origin they don't know, but it's been dated back to the 1700s, and it was about prisoners who was being hung. The prisoners was asked for a right of word and life, or right of word and right, which means that I want a chance to guess at this word, and if I guess this word, I'll be set free. But if they guess wrong, they get 5 chances. They put them on the stool, and every time they get it wrong, they hit a leg out from under the stool. And it was actually a form of entertainment for the masses to be sitting there watching. But nonetheless, the average prisoner, of course, wouldn't guess it because the average prisoner was illiterate, so they wouldn't guess it. But that's the origins of it. So what happens with that is we learn to play this game early on, and take no notice that this is something that was horrific. This was something that was done to actual people. So now it's being brought to us as a game, which most things are. So we do not take the heartfelt belliness of it, meaning that it doesn't affect us. It doesn't promote us to try to get laws changed, or try to prey on it, to try to warfare on it, to try to make changes, to even pray for things to change. We don't do, I'm saying we as a group of a nation of people, not just United States, but I'm talking about a world of people. We don't do that because we've been desensitized to it, and then we've been reprogrammed not to let it affect us. Okay, that's the first thing. Let's go to the second thing.